I do want to ask you, if you're getting any value from my channel, make sure to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so I can continue to try to beat that YouTube algorithm and bring more value to you in every video. So I just wanted to give you a better understanding of, what you're really doing and the difference between, wholesaling real estate versus being an agent and like listing a property for sale. Essentially what's happening is when you're wholesaling a property, what's the actual process is myself, I go to Mr. Seller and I say, hey, Mr. Seller, I'll buy your property for $100,000, and he says, yes, that works, that price works for me, I just want to make $100,000 on the property. Amazing. So we write a purchase agreement that says, hey, my name's Cody, I'm going to purchase your property for $100,000, obviously whatever contract that we're using. We're going to be able to get that put together, and he signs it. Then we move forward and I say, okay, perfect. I actually have a really great buyer. And, I'm thinking this in my head. I have a great buyer named Frank that would love to buy a property like this. And I think Frank would actually pay $110,000 for this property for him to go and fix and flip it. So then what I'm doing, wholesaling the property, is I'm taking that contract that I basically had written that says, I'll buy it and or assign it for $100,000. So what I do is I take that piece of paper, I take it over to Frank and say, hey Frank, here's a great property. It's right in the area that you like to buy, and right next to some of the other fix and flips that you're doing. If you fix it up and put some money into it, this could potentially sell for $175,000. And he says, awesome, I like the deal. How much do you want for it? And I say $110,000. Basically what I'm then doing is saying, perfect, I'll sell it to you for that. So now what I'm doing is I'm assigning it. So basically it's just another piece of paper that says, I have rights to a purchase agreement for $100,000. I am going to transfer my agreement over to Frank and his entity so he can purchase the property for $110,000. Now what happened there is I made a $10,000 assignment fee. So I had a purchase agreement to the seller, and I had an assignment agreement to another buyer that wanted to buy that deal. I am now out of that deal. I make that $10,000 spread in between, and Frank is off, goes and fix and flips it. That seller gets his $100,000. He's happy. It creates a win-win all around. So that's what's happening when you're wholesaling a property. Versus an agent, if they're going to be listing the property, this is more so what it looks like. So typically, and again, commissions can vary. It's 100% negotiable between the real estate agent and their potential client. But in a normal situation, like situations I've been involved in where I'm listing a property for sale, it looks something like this. I go to Mr. Seller, say it was that same seller, but he doesn't want to sell it directly to me. He wants me to help him list the property. Say I'm a realtor and I'm going to help him list that property for sale. What's going to happen is I'm going to sign an agreement with him that says, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm a realtor. I'm going to get your property listed on the MLS. I'm going to help find other buyers that would potentially come and buy your property. So the property then, we sign an agreement that says, hey, Mr. Seller, if I get your property sold, you're going to pay me a 3% commission to help get your property sold. So on $100,000, that would be $3,000. So we have that listing agreement put together, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to go and list the property on the open market, going to coordinate showings and things like that, and help this seller get the property sold. Say we get an offer, and then we end up getting that property sold. I make my $3,000. The seller makes his basically 97, let's call it, just for easy understanding of this video, and he goes on his way. So whereas you're working as a realtor, you're representing the client, you have a fiduciary responsibility, meaning you need to place their best interest at the forefront, and helping them get the best deal that they possibly can, get the most amount of money is your job as a realtor. Whereas as a wholesaler or as an investor, obviously you're trying to get the best deal you possibly can, so then you can sell it for the most amount of money and make a profit. So realtor, you're representing the client, you're doing a fiduciary job to get the most amount of money for them. Wholesaler, investor, you're trying to get the best deal for yourself. Obviously, on both sides, you're trying to create a win-win situation. I don't want it all for the investor side to sound like you're trying to take advantage of someone, because you're absolutely not. Your goal as an investor, my company's goal as investor, is for us to be able to create win-win situations, for us to create a solution that's able to help that seller. And sometimes, as a wholesaler, as a fix and flipper, the best option for a seller could be, hey, you should go list that with a realtor. You should find a licensed agent and list your property, because we're probably not a good fit for you. And vice versa. I'll also, talk to people that they're like, we really want to list it, and if it really makes more sense for them to sell it to an investor versus listing it, it's giving your honest opinion so that you can help that seller make the best decision based on your experience and your knowledge, as an investor or a realtor. So the last thing that I wanted to cover is, agents sometimes get a bad rap in the real estate world. And then also investors get a bad rap, but it's because people are buttholes to each other sometimes. So you got to understand, like, if you're an agent, be respectful of investors that are doing good business, and vice versa. If you're an investor, respect the agents. Agents are just trying to get paid, themselves on a deal. Same with investors. So, the better that you can collaborate instead of compete. We refer deals to to realtors that are not a good fit for us to buy, and they refer deals to us that aren't a good fit for them to list, because it's at the best interest of the clients. And if you did get any value from this video, I always ask, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Any questions that you have, post those in the comments below. I'd be happy to get those answered for you. With that, we will see you in the next video.